Hi, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
And together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Today, we got somebody outside the door. I think it sounds like a baby.
What?
Okay, today we're going to talk about the powder board. This is a tool that physical therapists use, but it's something you could use yourself to help with somebody that has weakness in the leg, especially after a stroke. Now, the reason it's called a powder board, Brad, is it's got a very slippery surface here, and what some therapists used to do is actually just spread powder down.
Talcum powder.
Talcum powder, and it would help the leg slide. And so this is very good, again, with somebody that has very little strength in the leg. You can maybe hardly see any movement at all, but you can start encourage them to get some movement. But what we're going to use here instead today is a towel or a sheet. And this board, by the way, you can see, after we're done here, I'm going to give you the dimensions of this board if you want to try to make one. If you Google powder board, you can buy one, but they're about $200–300 probably to have it made. But you can see it's got little collapsible legs here that go down like that, and you can use it both ways, with the legs up or legs down. Right now we're using it with the legs up. So Brad would lay down onto his side, and then I would bring this in, and we put the other leg on top.
So if I had a stroke, it'd be my right side that's weak, it's very weak, and I could barely move this leg.
And this is a great one to do at home if you have someone that you want to work with. And what I like to do is first bring the leg, let's say we're going to work on getting the hip going this way. You bring it all the way into extension first, or all the way stretch, and that's the easiest position to start trying to move it forward. Don't start up here and try to move it forward. Start back here. So Brad, let's just say...
Just wait, Bob. I had this hat on because it's really cold outside, but really, you got to be careful if you're on a hard surface because it's uncomfortable, so make sure the person's very comfortable.
I think you can do this on a bed.
Yeah.
We don't have a wide enough bed.
A bed would work.
Yeah. All right, Brad, so you're going to go ahead and try to pull that forward. Come on, Brad, bring that leg forward.
So let's just say I get a little trace movement, so I'm going, and I can just barely move it, and this is pretty typical of someone after a stroke. You can just barely see it moving, and so Bob may give me a little help.
Or I can even tap on the muscle. Sometimes we do that, which helps. Or we give a quick stretch. We go like this, and we go quick stretch,
and
sometimes we'll pull up. Same with extension. We can start way up here into his leg is bent first, and I give it a little quick stretch like this, and I have it push out. That's the one that usually comes back first.
Sure.
Is that straightening one. So you can work on hip, bending it, straightening it. You can also just work on the knee. So Brad, why don't you go ahead and just straighten the knee now. I'm going to bend it and have him work on straightening it.
There we go.
And then we can even now try to work on bending it, Brad.
So you give it that little bump.
Yep, I'm giving that little quick stretch.
Yeah, and that'll go the opposite direction.
Yeah. And we also do what is called tapping. We tap on the muscle, and sometimes that'll help it bend.
So he's tapping the muscle that is making the knee bend, the hamstring.
Yeah, or I can tap on the quadricep to help
it'll help stimulate.
Yeah.
They call it facilitate muscle contraction. Is that right, Bob?
Sure, if that's what you want to call it, Brad. All right. The other one, Brad, you could do is why don't you go ahead and I'm going to pull this out. And I can fold it up real quick here.
So if you're going to make one, it's a nice piece of plywood with a good finish, and you're going to have to put
and you could lay on your back, Brad. Like that. And actually put the foot out like this, and then you can work on going hip abduction and adduction like this. Side to side. Yep. People also use this. They'll put it up on a table and use it for the arm even, working on straightening, bending and flexing the arm and straightening the arm.
Sure.
So
like if I was laying in bed and I didn't have the board there, I could kind of start to move the leg, but it would get caught in the covers and you can't lift it up to get it over. So this just offers that friction-free.
Trying to keep the toe up, and try not to go that way. Keep the toe straight up while you're doing this one.
And we're going to do 10, 15 reps.
Great way, again, to facilitate exercise at home and start working on that stroke. And even if you're getting therapy, you may talk to your therapist about what you can do on your own time at home, because this all will help. Brad, why don't you sit up once and we'll take some dimensions of this thing here. If you're not interested in making one, you're done with us then today.
Yeah.
But if you are, Brad, you want to help me here?
Yeah, go on to the credits. Nancy's doing a nice job on some fun
Okay.
credits at the end.
30 inches across as this one was. Right to the, and then they, what do you call this, a radius, Brad?
Yeah, I cut that radius out for clearance.
And that's 2 feet, right here to the
Okay.
edge of the very peak of the radius, right? They got a handle here just for ease. And then,
Optional. How about the width?
oh yeah,
I should say the length. We did the
Length.
width.
the length is 38 inches. And they got reinforcement boards here, do you see that, Brad?
Mm-hmm.
And those are what would you call it, what dimensions are those?
I don't know, you got the ruler, Bob.
1.5 by 3/4.
Yeah.
1.5 by 3/4, and they are 29 inches long. So both of these, and they have another board here. Boy, this is pretty complicated, Brad. Maybe this is too much for people to make.
I think you're going to have someone that's a little handy with wood, and they'll do
This is
just fine with
4 1/4. This is 15 inches.
Yeah, this is a support board. Those dimensions are ballpark. They don't have to be exact at.
So these legs are
Now, that's going to be a little fun to make those legs.
6 inches. And they're 3/4 inch wide, and they got these little, what do you call those, hinges that
support,
come lock.
You know, what I would do is I would just get a nice piece of plywood that's the dimension here and the dimension here that has a nice smooth finish. You can buy them that way. Put about 5 coats of varnish on it so it's really smooth. And I wouldn't even put these legs on here. I would just put it down and I would put some blocks, either some books or 4x4 on that end, on that end, to block it out.
Sure.
I mean, if you really want to be handy and put these things on there, you
You
can.
could actually just put pillows on each side.
Yeah.
You know, it would probably hold it up
Something,
even.
just so you can get that
Yeah.
other leg underneath, because, you know, when you lay it flat, you don't need those at all, so.
Right.
Mhm.
So,
Again, if you're handy, you know, watch something on Red Green, he'll show you how to make anything.
rather be handy than handsome, right?
Exactly, so
All right.
you should subscribe to us, because if you're 40 or over, tricks like this are gonna be very handy.